There's a new skipper in town for the Lynchburg Hillcats. However, he is a familiar face to the faithful fan base here in Lynchburg. Tony Mansolino, former Hillcat utility man, is back and ready to lead the team this season. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, excited to be here. Excited to be back in Lynchburg.
Yeah, welcome back to Lynchburg. How does it feel to be back at City Stadium, but this time in charge?
Different. Certainly different. There's no doubt about it. It's great to be back. It's great to see the changes in the stadium. It's great to see the change in the community, the different colors, the different logo, all that stuff. It's just really good. It's unique, I guess, in the manager seat as opposed to the player seat, but it's certainly a very welcomed experience.
Speaking of changes to the stadium, how much would you have loved to play in that field 9-10 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, what a surface. I mean, I remember being a middle infielder and running back on pop-ups behind second base and feeling like you're going to fall down the hill with the mound. But, you know, our players are excited to be on it. As an organization, we're excited to have it. We're very thankful and feel very fortunate for the investment that was put into it.
So did you always know that once your playing career was over, you wanted to transition into coaching, or was that something that came as you developed your playing career?
Yeah, I grew up in a baseball family. My dad's a coach. He's been in it a long time. You know, I think when you're coming through the game as a player, you have no thoughts other than playing in the big leagues. I think as I got into the professional side of this and I was able to look around and see some of the talent with some of our players, I think I kind of knew that it might not have been in the hand for me. So my goal once I got into this was to play long enough to where I could get into a situation where I could coach and affect the game in a different way.
Could you describe your coaching style?
Honest. I think transparent, honest, and you know we're going to push them and we're going to ask a lot and have a high bar for our preparation part of the day. And you know I think once the game starts, if you do that, then you can kind of step back and let them play.
And you mentioned earlier you seem to come from a baseball family, more specifically a coaching and mentoring baseball family.
Yeah.
Would you say that your father, Doug, who's an accomplished coach himself, had an impact on that coaching style?
Yeah, my dad's my hero. I mean, I think growing up as a kid and you have that type of influence in your house and teaching you how to grow up and be a man, and now teaching me how to be a coach. He's certainly somebody that has influenced me in every which way. Now, with that being said, there's also other influences now in our organization. Some great coaches we have that have taught me a lot, and coaches I've played for as a player that you take a little bit from. But no doubt my dad is at the forefront of all that.
And let's talk about the season. When you look at the group of guys that you have this year, where do you see the biggest strengths and weaknesses?
I like our starting pitching. I think is solid. We got some high-end type guys in there. I think they're going to eat up innings. They're competitive guys, I think, most importantly. So I like that a lot. I think our defense is going to be solid. I think it's going to be pretty good. We got a solid little defensive middle of the infield that's going to play really well. And I like the leadership throughout the team. We got some guys that have been here and done that before, and they're good dudes. They're responsible. They care. They're passionate. They're great teammates. And I think behind the scenes that kind of plays as important as anything on the field stuff.
So you mentioned pitching and defense, but you were a hitting coach at 4 different levels. Can you put that hitting coach hat back on for just a second and assess the bats you have?
I like the depth in our lineup. I'm not so sure we're going to have a ton of power initially. But I think over the course of the year, the thing that's going to really show is that 1 through 9, whether our 9 starters are in there or our bench guys are playing on those days, we're going to compete. We're going to be competitive. We're going to put up tough at bats. We're going to wear down pitchers because of the competitiveness. So I think the depth offensively is going to be the thing that shines through there.
We're excited to see that depth out there in the field. Do you feel any added pressure knowing just how far this team made it last year?
No. I mean, it's such a different year. It's so different. I think where you feel pressure is, to help the players achieve their individual goals. I think at the beginning of the year you walk into it as a coach in my position, and your goal is to make sure that they all get an opportunity to advance to Akron the very next year. So, the pressure-wise in terms of team wins and losses, yeah, there's some, but that's more internal for me. It's more internal for our coaching staff because we're competitive, because we absolutely want to win every night, and we're probably not very good losers, to be honest with you. But more the pressure is from making sure the individual players develop and get themselves closer to their dreams.
A strong focus on player development this season?
That's what it is every season.
That's what it's about.